Hi friends, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'll put my usual video on the screen showing you how to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you are notified of my almost daily uploads. If you are new around here, I upload about 4 to 5 times a week on the channel, so you have to hit the bell so that YouTube will notify you of all of my new uploads. I have been reselling on eBay part-time for 10 years, and I keep telling you guys, eBay in 2020 has been a roller coaster for me. If you haven't seen any of my recent eBay videos, I've been hit with multiple Vero violations. My seller level a couple months ago fell below standard, and then I was able to quickly get it to top rated status. So I'll leave a link to all those videos down below, but this year has also been one of the most profitable years for me on eBay in a decade. So I just thought we would do like a year-end review, and I would share with you some of my best thrift store flips of 2020. Let me know in the comments down below if you would also like to see some of my worst flips, like where I actually lost money or made no money, because I feel like those can be helpful too. But I sell everything on eBay. That's why it's one of my favorite selling platforms along with Amazon. And I literally mean everything. I sell shampoo, clothing, VCRs, sporting goods, electronics, antiques. I sell everything. I have about 1,200 active listings right now. The majority of it is clothing. I'd say like 50 or 60%, but then everything else is literally the stuff I just listed. So it's not even really the majority. Honestly, I'd say half of the stuff I have is clothing, and then everything else is just like an array of stuff. So let's just jump into it. I am going to show you photos of everything. I will give you some background, where I purchased it, etc., etc. Let's jump into the most random purchase. You guys, when I go to a thrift store, I check every single section. I usually start with clothing, and then I go to hard goods, I go to furniture, I look at books to sell to Amazon. This was one of the most random things I found, and I just knew. I was like, this looks like it's money. It's a Marvel, X-Men, Avengers, Wolverine, like action character, and it was literally in pristine condition. The thrift store, I was at some random thrift store here in Southern California. I think I was like in the Inland Empire area traveling for work, and they had this marked for $5, and I just couldn't believe it hadn't been picked up, because I remember on the day I was at this store, it was very crowded, lots of people, and I was like, that just looks like something. And I will be totally honest with you. I'm a complete novice when it comes to like toys and action figures, but I look up everything. I look up everything, and I was like, that looks like that's some money. Turns out this was limited edition. I could only find a couple comps for it. You guys, I paid $5 for this, and it sold for $300 within 2 weeks. And the buyer paid $20 for shipping. Now, I had the shipping really high because I actually took this to FedEx and had them like wrap it up for me, because once I looked up comps, like how valuable this was, I was like, I'm not shipping this. I want them to do it. You guys, I'm sure you guys know this, but you can take items to FedEx or UPS and actually have them package it for you. It's very expensive. Like I said, this thing wasn't that big. I think total it weighed less than a pound. It was expensive to ship it. I think I actually paid like $27 with them packaging to ship it, but it got to the buyer in pristine condition. So a lot of you asked me like how I ship hard goods and awkward shaped things, like I've sold scooters, I've sold golf clubs. I'll do a video on that, but honestly guys, for things that are like really fragile, sometimes I'll just take it to FedEx. I prefer FedEx, and I'll just have them like package it for me, and they'll if you want to, they'll let you watch them package it. Sometimes I'll do that, not often. I think in all of 2020, I maybe did that like five, I think, or 7 times. I wouldn't even say 10. It's like random, but at least 5 times, no more than 10. So this was an amazing flip. Now, this really opened my eyes to like toys, going in the toy section. I always go, but I feel like I just kind of breeze through. But keep an eye out, friends. And sometimes it may not stand out to you. I always say, you guys ask me how I got into hard goods. I just started looking stuff up, you guys. I would go into the thrift store. I would look at dishes. I would look at the antique section. I would look at toys, and I would just look it up and see what it sold for. And that's what happened. Now, here's the clothing item that when I saw it, I was like, oh, that dress is money. I just knew it. I saw this at a thrift store in Santa Monica, and this is BCBG Max Azria. Let's talk about this brand for a second. I've talked about this brand many, many times about how you can make great money sending this brand to ThredUp. I've sold this brand for hundreds of dollars on ThredUp for things that I've paid $1 for. But I don't tend to sell BCBG Max Azria for much myself at all. One of you educated me, actually. I think you told me that their showroom or their corporate office is here in LA, BCBG Max Azria. That makes sense because I find a lot of it here in Los Angeles. I'm talking every time I go thrifting, I find at least, and it's usually more like 10, but at least one BCBG something, whether it's BCBG Max Azria, BCBG Generation, you know, they have the different lines. Usually it's BCBG Max Azria, but when I saw this dress, I didn't know the brand, but I just saw it hanging in this thrift store. I was like, that dress is money. They had it marked up only for $25. Now, hold on, because you're probably like, only? That seems like a lot for a thrift store. But I knew when I saw this dress, I was like, I'm pretty sure this was on BCBG's like runway collection. Like, you know, their actual runway. I swear, and I don't follow fashion shows. Anybody else? I will look up the trends. I'll look up what's trending. I'll look up what was popular at the runway. But I have never watched an entire runway show. I find them kind of boring. I don't know anybody else, but I knew I had seen this dress somewhere, and thank God, you guys, I looked it up. This dress, brand new, retailed for $800. I bought it used for $25, and so many celebrities have worn it. I was able to find like an old picture of Paris Hilton. I think she wore it to Coachella many years ago. A couple other celebrities have been photographed in this. I paid $25 for it, and I sold it for $525 used. And I promise you, I'm pretty sure the reason this sold for a lot is because it's been photographed on a lot of celebrities. And I made sure to include those celebrity wearings of the dress in the listing. That really does help sell a listing, friends. It does help. If someone famous has wore your item or held your item or used your item, whether it's clothing, a sporting good, a hat, whatever, it helps to sell the item because people see celebrities or whoever they like to watch, their favorite fashion blogger, and they're like, what is she wearing? I want to know that dress. I want that dress. And case in point, this sold within 4 days. It did go overseas to... Looks like I shipped it to Ireland. So they did pay quite a bit in shipping, but what an amazing flip. You guys, I wanted to keep this dress so bad for myself. I really did. But then when I realized it was a 2X, it's an extra smalls, like you couldn't even fit one of your thighs into that. It was a gorgeous dress though. I'm actually a big fan of a lot of BCBG Max Azria dresses. I just would never buy them full price because I find them so often at the thrift store. So a lot of times when I find them in my size, I keep them and wear them. I'm a huge fan of their style, but I love that dress. It was beautiful. Okay, switching gears again completely because I told you I sell everything on eBay. I sold a VCR. Found this VCR at a thrift store. Where was I? I was somewhere like way outside of Los Angeles, like 2 hours outside. If I can remember, I'll put it on the screen. I was in a very rural town. They had this VCR listed. It was a secondhand shop. They had it posted for sale for $10. And it had, as you can see in the photo, it had the remote, it had the manuals. They let me plug, they were super sweet. I'm pretty sure this was like a small business, family run secondhand shop. She was so nice, the wife. She like helped me hook it up to their old school TV to make sure it worked. She actually had a VHS. I haven't seen one of those in so long. I find VCRs all the time, but it's rare I find the VHS. Is that what they're called? I don't even remember what they're called. You know what I'm talking about. The things that VCRs play. God, I sound like such a millennial. So this was the JVC. It has a huge name. It's basically a VHS player. I paid $10 for this, you guys, and it sold for $399 for me. This thing was heavy. So I actually had to charge like $50 for shipping because I had to use, I actually shipped this myself. The way I ship this, I can show you guys. I will show you in a video. I save like a lot of the boxes I get from Amazon. I just reused an Amazon box. I use all of the like plastic they send, the bubble wrap, and I used also some paper, just normal like brown paper, and I wrapped this thing until it couldn't be wrapped anymore. And the buyer was like, I mean, it looked crazy. My packaging doesn't always look like neat, but your stuff will be protected. And the buyer actually left me feedback saying, thank you so much for packaging so well. I thought they were gonna like say like, what the hell is this? Like, why does it look like it came from a toddler? I'm just telling you, when you see my shipping video, it's not the prettiest, but it works. If you've ever purchased from me on Poshmark, you know what I'm talking about. I try to wrap your stuff up, okay? But it's not gonna look professional. This was an amazing flip. I love selling electronics. I'm still learning them. I still go in thrift stores and look up comps. I never say never, but I almost never buy an electronic unless I look it up, just because I'm still learning. I don't have the eye for electronics like I do for clothing. Like I can look like that BCBG dress. I saw that dress, I was like, that dress is money. I still don't have the eye yet, even after doing this for a couple years with electronics, so I always look them up. But you guys, there is so much money to be made in used electronics. Of course, new electronics, I mean, do your research, but used at the thrift store, even if it doesn't work, some of these things are like selling for a great profit margin. So definitely be on the lookout, start checking it out, looking up comps, because some of my highest profit sales are used electronics. All right, let's end on a bang here. This antique tennis racket I found at a Goodwill. Again, I was either in Santa Monica or Marina Del Rey, somewhere here in Los Angeles, and I just saw it, and it actually was damaged, you guys. As you can see in the photo, it had little holes in it, but I just saw it and I was like, oh my God, that looks like super old. Turns out that this is from 1910. Well, I was able to find out from research. Literally, I had to research for like 2 hours. It's somewhere, it was made between like 1900 and 1910. I paid $10 for this, and it sold for $297, you guys. It did take a while to sell. I did have this on eBay for like 6 months, but what an amazing sell, you guys. And this thing was old. It just looked old, and it had been passed over in this thrift store. I remember people picking it up, looking at it, and putting it down. I think because it was damaged. I don't know why they put it down, honestly. I'm just grateful they did. You guys, this was awesome. I love selling sporting goods. I think this was like one of the first or second times I found like a vintage sporting goods item this whole year. I don't find them often. I wish I did, because there's huge money to be made. Even if they're damaged and they're not in perfect condition, I almost thought of keeping it, but I was like, what would I ever use this for? I'm not gonna use it because I just feel like it's too awesome and I don't want to mess it up anymore. I don't know how to fix it, and I'm probably not gonna use it for decoration. I feel like it would be nice like for decoration in someone's home, and I was like, I'm not gonna use it for that. Just sell it, Nikki. What a great sell. I think like two of my favorite categories in 2020 to sell and make the most money are used electronics and sporting goods. And when I say sporting goods, I'm talking like everything. Like think ski wear, ski attire, ski accessories, tennis attire, tennis accessories, golf balls, golf clubs, scooters. Those things were huge in 2020 because, as you can imagine, we all went through a pandemic and people are stuck in their house. And I feel like one of the few ways people feel like comfortable is just getting out and doing like outdoor activities, because you can social distance, you can get some exercise. It was huge in 2020. Honestly, I think it'll still be huge in 2021. And there's just great profit to be made. So I just wanted to share some of those top sales with you, just to show you where I've been making the money and why I keep saying like 2020 has been a great year for me on eBay. No, let me retract that. It has been a roller coaster of a year, but we're ending on a bang. My first palette is coming next month, so liquidation and palette videos are coming. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see my worst buys of 2020, because we have a lot of those. That could be a long one. You can check out my other eBay videos right here.